Good morning. Welcome, welcome. We'll give everyone just a second or two to get in and get settled, and then we will get started. All right, welcome again. This is Community Cafe for February 2025. Welcome. February is National Cancer Prevention Month, so we wanted to give some information surrounding screening, recovery, survival stories, and also resources in your local community. So we have some very special guests with us today. Amani is going to be putting some information in the chat. You can use that to ask questions or get more information. We'll also pause in the middle of both of these amazing speakers and have a little Q&A. So if you have questions that you would like to unmute yourself and ask out loud, you are welcome to do that as well. So first, we are going to hear from Miss Reverend Sally Queen. She's with Myers Memorial United Methodist Church, and she's going to talk about her survival story and the importance of early screening and her journey to recovery. Sally, I'm going to hand it to you.
Thank you. And I'm glad to be with you this morning and grateful for the work that many of you do in our community. And thanks for sharing a bit of your day with me. So I am the senior pastor at Myers Memorial here in Gastonia. I've been here for 9 years. And my story is intertwined with my mother's story. So I need to just set the stage with her story. So in January of 2019, she came back from a 30-day cruise and found herself in the hospital and left the hospital with a diagnosis of stage 4 colon cancer. The day that we heard her diagnosis, I was supposed to go for a mammogram that day. And I decided I maybe should just put that off because I had more pressing things. And my dad looked at me and he was like, Sally, just go. It's on your schedule. It's already, go have the mammogram, take care of it. It was my second ever mammogram and I was 41. And I'm so glad that I listened to my dad that day and went and had my mammogram. And ever since have been a huge proponent for early detection because out of that mammogram came a cancer diagnosis. About 2 months later, I had a lumpectomy followed by 6 weeks of radiation. My surgery was in Charlotte, but did my radiation here at Caramont. And I'm really glad that I went for that mammogram. And I think it reminded me that sometimes in life we find all sorts of excuses for what we should do or could do in any given moment, but sometimes we really need to remember that our self is a priority. And so that's how I look at early detection now. It is a priority and it's a gift to myself and it's a gift to other people. I continue to post things often with a hashtag early detection can save lives. I'm an educator to the church that I serve, to my friends, like whatever early detection is available to you, there's no reason to not do it. It has the potential to save your life. And I'm a living, breathing example of that. My mammogram is coming up in the next couple of weeks. And barring anything unexpected, I'll be 6 years cancer free and really grateful, really grateful for that. And it was all because of a mammogram, something so small that I would never have felt, that wouldn't have been detected by my doctor on a breast exam. It was that screening process that was necessary. So I am a person of faith. And that's how I navigated my breast cancer journey. From the beginning, it was my faith is what kept me grounded. And from telling my own children, to telling my congregation, to telling friends, that I was part of a club that I never ever wanted to be a part of, and that was the breast cancer club. And I another hashtag that I used throughout my journey was God's got this. Was just a firm believer that my faith was a huge attribute to help me navigate my journey. And from that sort of came this attitude of positivity. I embraced it with the opportunity to, expand my circle of knowledge and my circle of relationships. uh, I developed a close friendship with another woman who I had the 7 a.m. appointment at Caramont every day for radiation, and she had the 7:15 appointment. And so we were usually there about the same time, and we were waiting together. And her name is Tina, and she had breast cancer as well. Her story was a little bit different than mine, but we were journeying together, and she's still somebody that I connect with and talk to and check on and want to know how she's doing. And so I think when someone is in the midst of a life-changing event like cancer, the attitude in which you embrace that um, helps you to navigate in a certain way. And I think embracing the opportunity to meet people and get to know people certainly was important to me. The day that I got to ring the bell, uh, there were a number of my church staff who came early that morning because they'd been a part of my journey. My family was there with me, and the staff there at Caramont were there to be a part of that and to celebrate that as well. And then I had the privilege about a week later to go back when Tina rang the bell, and my girls and I were able to be there to celebrate with her. And that was really special and exciting. One of the things that I've discovered is that if you're open and honest about and vulnerable about your own diagnosis, people get put into your life that need your story. And so I have walked alongside of many women since my own diagnosis over the last 6 years, walked alongside many women to help them in the midst of their journey. Just a reminder that we all need friends. And currently, my very best friend in the whole wide world, the sister that I never had, she was my college roommate. She is fighting breast cancer right now. And she was my cheerleader 6 years ago, and I'm her cheerleader right now. And even though her story is different than my story, I'm right there in her corner. And she looked at me and she said, I don't want to be part of this club. And I said, none of us want to be a part of this club, but what a gift that we have each other. And I think that's the strength of community and the importance of community. So after breast cancer, my greatest takeaway was that I'm important. And so what was transformative for me after breast cancer was that Sally Queen had to be a priority to Sally Queen. There was nobody else in this world that was going to take care of me except for me. And so counseling was something that I participated in, just to be a safe place to talk and to process life. I began a journey of fitness. I had never really liked working out. That wasn't something that was on my radar to do on a regular basis. And now every weekday morning, my alarm goes off at 5:10 and I'm at the gym at 5:30. And that's just a huge part of my life. And I would dare say that without this diagnosis, that probably wouldn't have become a pattern in my life. Because I really claimed I've got to take care of Sally. And I also, my family is a core value in my life. And when you have a cancer diagnosis and you begin to think, gosh, what could my life be like if I wasn't able to survive cancer? It really shifts your priorities. And I've had to make decisions in my career that have held my family as my number one core value. So it really was an opportunity to sort of shape what's most important in my life. Um, I could ramble on, but I would do better if you asked me questions or if there's something that you wanted to hear more of.
Stanley, are you comfortable talking about your mom's story?
Sure. Oh, yeah. So my mom is also an amazing survival story. It's been 6 years also since my mom's diagnosis. My mom had a colostomy here at Caramont, and then she had chemo for 6 or 8 rounds of chemo, and her body wasn't responding to that. Her cancer was continuing to grow. Um, so she had to end up having a urostomy as well. So my mom carries around these 2 bags that are part of her life that contain all the excretions that come from her body. And she continues to have immunotherapy. Another amazing thing with the science research, medical research, my mom's particular tumor was able to be sent off, and it is a tumor that the markers on the tumor put her at a higher place to be responsive to immunotherapy. Uh, so how cool that we have the ability to determine those kinds of things, and only like I want to say it's like 3% or 5% of tumors have this particular marker that make them the potential for immunotherapy. So anyway, she has immunotherapy every 6 weeks and has, I guess, since probably mid 2020, and is doing really well. So she heard stage 4, and we were prepared for a short survival after that. And I'll flip that around to early detection too. The doctor looked at me the day of her diagnosis when her pathology report came back and said to me, you need to go have a colonoscopy. I know you're not 45, but you need to go have a colonoscopy. And so I have had 2 colonoscopies and have had polyps both times. So again, super grateful for early detection and for the ability to remove those. I think a mammogram is more fun than a colonoscopy. I mean, neither one of them any of us want to do, but a colonoscopy is just, ugh, I can't stand the preparation, but my gosh, what a great gift that we're given.
Thank you, Sally. I have a question as well. You've been in a unique position to battle and survive cancer and also be a support for your mom. What would you say as, because cancer affects us all in very different ways. What would you say is the biggest I don't want to say advice. What would you tell people who are supporting people in their lives that are battling cancer right now?
Maybe a couple of things. One is that we all just want somebody to be our cheerleader, to support us and encourage us. And the amount of cards and text messages and little what I call Cersei's little treats, those kept me motivated through my journey. Those kept my mom motivated through her journey. I mean, both of us have a basket filled with cards where people just let us know that they care. So I think if you know somebody, don't ever underestimate the importance of a card. A card goes a super long way, and it's a very little investment on our part to get a card, sign our name, and chunk it in the mail. But it is a huge gift to others. The other thing that I would say is that a lot of times people try to come up with reasons for why people get cancer. And I think it's so important if you're walking alongside somebody, like there's just unfortunate things that happen in life. And it's not punishment. It's not, like, yes, some people who are smokers end up with lung cancer, but there are also people who are non-smokers who end up with lung cancer. And so reasons really aren't relevant at the moment. What's relevant at the moment is that you're with and you're present with that person. Which does bring me, thank you, Amber, for that question, because it brings me to a book. Amani, it's called Everything Happens for a Reason and Other Lies I've Loved. It's written by a woman named Kate Bowler. in her 30s. She is a professor at Duke University, and in her 30s was diagnosed with colon cancer. And she was just confronted with this reality of like having heard a lot of people say, especially in the South and the Bible Belt, everything happens for a reason. And so tries to sort of offer her pat answers for why she might have gotten this diagnosis. So anyways, it's a great book. Amani, it's Everything Happens for a Reason and Other Lies I've Loved by Kate Bowler.
Awesome. Thank you, Sally. Does anybody else have any other questions for Sally?
Thank you for your
Thinking, I will-
story.
I don't have any questions, but I just want to say congratulations. I'm
Thank
happy
you.
for your healing and everything.
Thank you.
Tom, were you also going to mention something as well?
I was just going to thank Sally. That was really nice. Thank you, Sally. That was beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Well,
thank you, thank you.
and before we transition over, like I also want to just say that we are really fortunate here in Gaston County to have Caramont Hematology and Oncology in our corner. You know, a lot of people think that we need to go across the river to get better medical care or something. We have fantastic medical care right here. And I really, the people at Caramont walked alongside of me, and I will be forever grateful. So I think that for our community is a real strength and something that we can remind others about.
Sally, you set us up for a beautiful segue, so thank you. So now I'm going to introduce Tom Gray and two of his colleagues that he will introduce. Tom is the community outreach coordinator, at Caramont Oncology. He's going to talk to us about the importance of community and resources for support. Tom?
Hello, everyone. Like she said, I'm Tom Gray, and thank you for having us. We really appreciate this and for bringing awareness for this month and all the information about cancer. I wanted to start out by thanking Sally, and I just told the group this before we started, that working here is amazing. This whole group is like a family, and everyone is so supportive of each other. And the patients that we serve, they do come back and they thank us, and they're just so fun to be around. And we try to keep things light and love on them like they love on us. And it just seems so reciprocal. So I just wanted to start by saying that. And I also wanted to introduce two of my coworkers that are here with me today. Brooke Hunger, who is our social worker, and Brandy Husky is our resource coordinator, oncology resource coordinator. And we're so serious here, as you can tell. But, so like I said, I'll start by just kind of saying I'm the person that goes out into the community and does outreach. So I do a lot of community fairs, health events with the schools, civic groups, churches. I do like different gala events, fundraising events. I work closely with like different agencies like the YMCA. Every October, we do a huge women's health program event. And I work really closely with Cancer Services of Gaston County, which is an amazing nonprofit here in the county that provides wigs, nutrition. I've got all of this information too. I think in the chat box under my number, if you need anything, always feel free to call me. And I can get any of this information to you. And I'm going to talk more about some of the stuff we do in a minute, but I was going to let Brooke talk a little bit about her social worker role.
Hi, everybody. I really appreciate being here today. So like Tom said, we kind of all three of us collaboratively work together to provide, continuity of care for our patients in the beginning of their diagnosis, during their treatment, and then a little bit like after treatment. So for my role, I'm not from North Carolina. I'm not familiar with Gaston County. I actually just moved here from Pennsylvania the end of September. So Brandy and Tom have definitely been great leaders and support in learning the community resources and how we can really help our patients navigate not just our patients, but their families navigate their cancer diagnosis and treatment. So primarily what I do is a lot of the psychosocial aspect of our patients' care. So it's a lot of emotional support for them and their families. If a patient is really struggling or just needs someone to talk to, I kind of do like their assessment with them and figure out what are ways or what are barriers that they are experiencing in care, or just want to stop by my office just to talk and kind of let things out. I'm a unbiased person in this situation, which I think a lot of us, no matter what we're going through, need that support. So I really enjoy speaking with the patients, hearing about their stories, and just providing that strong emotional psychosocial support in whatever they need, whether linking them to community resources like cancer services, financial resources, helping them with like Medicare and Medicaid, disability, FMLA. Brandy and I work together a lot in collaborating and finding ways that we can really help our patients get to their appointments and make sure that they are staying consistent, because that's really also the most important part too, is making sure that they are taken care of and have what they need to be able to get here and get treated. So, and then did you want to say what?
Then all that, can you get in here? Brandy?
Yeah, you're good.
This is Brandy Husky.
Hi, I'm Brandy. Again, thank y'all for having us. I am the oncology resource coordinator. I work closely with Brooke as far as the disability and things, but my main role is transportation and making sure our patients get to and from their treatments, radiation and chemo, as well as their appointments to the provider as well. So yeah, and I do work closely with cancer services as well, as far as helping with nutrition, transportation, sometimes housing, or if they need help paying a bill or two. We also help pay for medication as well if they need help with that. I do get that arranged for them. So yeah.
One of the things that we've done is we have a foundation here at Caramont, and we apply for annual grants just like someone from outside, the hospital. The Cancer Center is part of Caramont, but we also have the foundation, so we apply for grants for both dental and transportation, because you would be amazed at the amount of people that need dental services, especially with head and neck cancers. So we assist people with dental procedures that can be anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000, because a lot of people don't have dental insurance. So you have this added expense. So that dental grant has been a phenomenal, almost life-changing event to some of our patients that have had this bill to pay, and we have this grant to assist them. The same with transportation. You want to rely on friends, you want to rely on family, but sometimes things just don't work out like you think. And so having this added transportation grant for our patients is an amazing thing too. So that's been ongoing, and like Brandy just said, she helps facilitate lining all these things up. We also get grant money from the American Cancer Society, and that brings up another person's name that couldn't be with us today, but her name is Annalise Sansushi. She is our American Cancer Society coordinator and representative for this area. She is kind of an invaluable resource for programs to get people involved in, accessing the grants, talking to us about community involvement. And of course, as we all know, the Relay for Life, that's a huge event that is an annual thing in all sorts of different counties, even ones that are not in our catchment area. That's like a statewide thing. And we do it and actively participate every year. I wanted to also bring up, Caramont offers the PRIDE program, the Power to Recover through Individualized Development and Exercise. That is like an 18-session wellness program to assist in managing physical and social side effects of cancer treatment. A lot of people do it following their cancer treatments, just because when you're going through your cancer treatments, your life is so unpredictable with how you feel. You may not feel like participating in something, but this program has been an amazing thing for so many people to be involved in. And I have all the information to get you lined up for that if you or a loved one needs that. It's similar to the Live Strong program through the YMCA. So there's a multitude of programs that I can get you involved in. I'm trying to think of other things. Am I leaving stuff out that I need to talk about? Yes, Cancer Services of Gaston County offers a monthly support group, and Brooke and I are actually the facilitators for that. Believe it or not, we can hold it together long enough to have an amazing support group. We actually try to have a lot of fun with it. It's very patient focused, like what are they feeling? What do they want to talk about? What areas do you want to go over? So I think that's the main thing. And to always remember that. It may change at the last second because of something someone's going through, but it's been an amazing group. And again, Cancer Services of Gaston County lets us house it in their facility over on Columbia Avenue here in Gastonia. So that's another amazing thing. We also have nutrition here in the Cancer Center. Our Meredith, what is Meredith's last name? Mills, Meredith Mills. She's our senior, our nutritionist. She's an incredible resource. A lot of the health fairs that I do, she's actually attended them with me and does demonstrations, talks to people about like a really good diet, like a grocery shopping list. She gives me handouts to take, like how to do like a 30-day cancer prevention checklist, things that people are really interested in. And she's such an amazing advocate and works with getting like the senior nutrition, the shakes lined up for people here at the Cancer Center. Trying to think. Getting back to something that Sally brought up, just community involvement. One of the things that I've been like floored by, and I guess because my role as the outreach coordinator, I'm always out in the community doing things. To see the way the community gives back to the Cancer Center, schools, local schools, Mary Kay Cosmetics, youth groups, churches, the things they bring by here, crocheted blankets, the little hats, scarves, things for it. It'll melt your heart. And I mean, the way the people come in and they're like, these are for your patients. This was on my heart to bring your people, or bring your patients, and we give them out and the people just burst into tears. It's like really incredible, all of that. And these youth groups, they'll put together bags for our patients with like scripture verses, or just like notes that say, I love you, I'm thinking of you. My grandma had cancer. I know what it's like, which, I can't stand it when people say that, but they mean well. And it's really sweet to pass these out to people. So I've really been overwhelmed by that.
I think patients too, like we've had patients that are survivors, they'll come back and bring things for other patients who are still going through treatment. Like I think it was just last week we had a patient come and she brought a whole bunch of new journals, like that were like, pink, purple, had flowers on them, butterflies, and all these like sparkly pens. So I have them in my office just, as something like, hey, maybe you would really benefit from journaling. But it's like things like that where patients want to come and give other patients that are still going through treatment support and things to make them feel good that they're still coming back just because they appreciated it and want to help other people too.
I'm trying to think of anything else. There was another inheritance of, what were you telling me about the inheritance of her?
Oh yeah, so we're looking into more resources for young children who have parents going through cancer treatment, or on hospice, things like levels of severity of their diagnosis. So we had come across Inheritance of Hope, and I believe it is I don't know if it's global or I know it's nationwide. It's a nationwide organization that basically provides resources to children whose parents are going through cancer. So they'll pay for them for school supplies or clothing, kind of do like support with them, some psychosocial things, so emotional support, counseling. They also will send them to like a summer camp for like a couple weeks at a time. So we recently had just myself and one of our PAs just referred one of our patients for their daughter to be able to be a part of this program, and they were like approved like immediately, like the next day. So it's really a great resource. I know there was like a location here in Gaston County that was able to reach out to them and kind of get them the supports right away, just because of the severity of the situation that this patient and their family is unfortunately in right now. But yeah, so that was an inheritance of hope, and it just seems like it's a really great, I don't know too much about it yet, but it does seem like a really great resource for parents who have young children going through something that's scary. It's unsure, and I think they talk to them in a way where children can understand versus talking to an adult. So it does seem like a really great program.
And one more thing I wanted to bring up was like I said, I do a lot of health fairs throughout the community, usually, for churches. Like I go to like the local Department of Social Services and do one for the city and county employees here in Gaston and Lincoln counties. We are specific more to Gaston, Lincoln, and Cleveland counties in your large catchment area, because I was talking to Jeannie earlier. I know y'all are involved in 15 different counties, but like the larger hospital systems, both Novant and Atrium both have outreach programs and outreach and education programs through their cancer departments. But one of the things that I can do, and my number is like in the chat forum, if you need any kind of information, if you ever need me to come and speak, I will gladly come and do that. I have, of course, all the marketing materials like Partners does that I pass out, the infamous like pens and chapstick, and all the things we give out to people. And all of these resources that I pretty much covered today in our forum, I can get all of those resources to you as well. So and we do have an amazing team of nurse navigators that like follow people from the beginning to the end with their cancer journey. We have a research department for with geneticists that like study your cancer, study the history of your family. It's we are a smaller hospital, but it's amazing how in tune and how in depth this is. Our cancer center is without crossing the river, as you said, Sally. So just let us know. We'll do anything we can to help you all. And if you have any questions, feel free to let us know.
What I heard Tom say is he can answer any and all of your questions. Just call him.
Yes. Yes.
Does anybody have any questions for Tom or Brooke or Brandy?
Amber, can I speak about genetic testing?
Sure, please.
Just since Tom mentioned that at the end. So that too was part of my story. I did genetic testing to make sure that I didn't have the BRCA gene, because that would impact my family in different ways. It also would have impacted my surgical decisions. So I think that, again, as if you're helping people or you're walking along somebody who has a cancer diagnosis, like to help somebody not be afraid to take advantages of all the resources available to them. I mean, somebody might hear genetic testing and think that's really scary because maybe I'll learn something that I don't want to know is true. At the same time, I look at that as another early detection opportunity of finding something out that can be helpful and make your life longer. So thanks, Tom, for mentioning that.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Sally, because I was going to mention real quickly, and it's another resource that I forgot about. It's a group that I actually love them. They are the nicest people on earth. They're called Nothing Pink, and that's it's nothingpink.org. All one word, nothingpink.org. And I have their phone number and their card and any information you need. But they specialize in genetic testing for hereditary breast and ovarian cancers. So if you have any information in that or for that, or have any family members that would be interested in that, again, call me on my number and I will get you that information ASAP.
So that brings up another thing that I thought about. Another part of my journey is well, first of all, I was certain that I was going to be positive for anything and everything related to cancer because it's all over my family on both sides of my family. But my aunt died from ovarian cancer. And so even though was BRCA negative, and I felt strongly after I had had my lumpectomy and radiation that I wanted my ovaries gone. And so I had my ovaries and my tubes removed, and that was the most empowering surgical decision that I've ever made. It's like I claimed for myself something that I would never have to face or deal with again. So again, I think that thinking about supporting people, like giving them the encouragement to make decisions for themselves, that it's okay, like it's not scary. You don't have to fear. You can claim yourself. Yourself is important. So thanks, Tom, for mentioning ovarian cancer.
Okay.
I feel like we got to bounce back. Tom, did you think of anything else you wanted to share?
Well, now that Sally brought that up, no, I'm kidding.
Love it. Anybody have any questions for Tom or Sally? Sounds like community support, early screening, time, vulnerability, all of those things can contribute to positive experiences with a really terrible disease. And science has come a long way, right? The fact that we can even do genetic testing now is amazing. So if you are able to take advantage of that, please do so, because early detection means most of the time, sometimes, right, better treatment options. So just something to keep in mind. Amani has put a lot of information in the chat. We can also, I'm going to look at Jeannie for this because she's usually in charge of this, send out those links via email to everyone who attended this morning. And I'm going to pass it to Amani, and she's going to give us a quick overview of what's going to happen next month at Community Cafe.
Thank you so much to our speakers, and thank you for everyone attending today. Our next Community Cafe will be celebrating Intellectual and Developmental Disability Month. We'll learn about resources to help individuals live independently. So we will see you next month. Thank you all.
Thank you.